say, everyone. What a mildly attractive group. So, he thought his doctor was a jerk. Worked. Comedian and actor Bob Odenkirk has been kicking around show business for over 30 years. He started as a writer on SNL, did Ben Stiller's show. He co-created the brilliant sketch comedy Mr. Show. And now most people know him as the seedy attorney Saul. Good thing there's no lawyer that sleazy in real life, am I right? He also does a lot of charity. I knew the audience would not know who David Cross is. But I left it in there. Years ago, Odenkirk had a heart attack and almost died while filming the final season of his series. True, Better Call Saul became Better Call. I wouldn't wish on any actors unless they try to bring back, according to Jim. Odenkirk survived. He went on a podcast and looked back on his heart attack, saying this near-death experience could have been prevented if he had only listened to his doc. Why didn't he listen?
My doctor was a conservative. He got crankier and crankier the older he got. That I only learned over time. He said, you need to start taking statins right now. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't have heart disease. I had a heart attack. And I think the first doctor was right. Mm-hmm. The cranky, conservative Jack was right because he was a good doctor. Point of view doesn't have anything to do with his ability to judge your health and your health choices and needs.
That's why I never question my liberal doctor when he gives me a mammogram. So, goes to him. He didn't need to say this in public, but he wanted everybody to know the tough lesson he learned. I'm sure all his showbiz friends deserted him like Colony. I know, think about that. But America needs more of that these days. Well, that and handsome, brilliant. We need to start seeing each other as human beings again, not just pawns of two opposing political parties. Our lives are more important, and someone should tell that to those hairy heifers at The View. We're people, not talking points. Except Kat, But what if Odenkirk had a doctor with a much different worldview? Like, I don't know, maybe this? She can check your prostate without her hands. I know. But imagine if he had a far left anything to prevent heart disease because, there are too many humans on the planet already. Because he's an old white guy who doesn't have the common decency. Because politics will indeed matter if, say, you have a woke doctor who's only concerned with equity. Someone who lets you die untreated or group identity to match those of another, quote, marginalized group. That's the logic. Sorry you're gonna die, Bill, but enjoy your last few months. Here's an envelope for BLM when you make out your will. You can imagine how bad things would get if all those jobs were filled with woke knuckleheads. The woke mechanic would say, instead of an oil change, I converted your car to solar power. It'll be grand. Or how about a woke police officer? Can I see some ID? We had reports there are people over the age of 18. How about the woke teacher? Wait, those are everywhere. And how is that working out? Our students are It's as if grievance and team locker rooms with, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Now, let's look at it from the opposite perspective. Good advice, because the experts had the wrong politics. Sure, I could have changed my oil when that check engine light came on. I supported poisoning Mother Earth with fossil fuels. Also, can you give me a ride home? Doc, I'm against the use of plastics, so you'll need to do that prostate exam on me wearing a renewable wool glove. All that water just because my home's on fire? Now, I'm really glad I glued myself to that fire hydrant. Robbed me, but you'd probably run straight to the cops. Let's just say he's a really dark-skinned white male. All the doctors in America cutting off little boys' genitals because they play with Barbies, and somebody told them they're actually girls. Thank God these doctors weren't around when I'm treating as a kid dressed like Dorothy Hamill 3 years in a row. I got 27 cigar bars and 3 gold medals, capable of being as blinkered and unethical as anybody else. Plus, they can't dance. For years now, we and my doctor. I've said it many times myself when I'm asked what I'm doing at the gynecologist. But even Medical Association is pushing something awful called health equity to fight narratives grounded in white supremacy, evil democracy, and individualism. Meaning they prefer to treat you as one person belonging to a group that oppresses. But maybe you deserve to be sick. That mole is malignant, but so are you. So why would you allow your medical decision consideration? You'd never say, that's between me, my doctor, and the Department of Motor Vehicles. Or would you? If you'd look in, maybe the problem isn't the Republicans. Sure, you went completely blind now, but at least you didn't let Dr. Rand Paul in. The moral of the story, listen to the person who's telling you a hard truth, even if you don't like him. And if you insist on being woke olitologist. Let's welcome tonight's guests. Likes to get to see his kids, actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lissow. Loose Bowl. Former State Department spokeswoman and founder of Polaris National Security, Morgan Ortagus. Throw a breadstick in any Olive Garden in America, and you'll hit 10 guys who look just like him. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. And she's got more fake hair than a Trumpy bear. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tipp. Jamie, in the green room, you said your doctor keeps pushing assisted suicide on you. Why?
Yeah, and he wants me to assist myself, which is so weird. I actually have a very... my surgeon is before COVID. It took a minute, but then they were right. I really do, I trust my doctor, and he really is liberal, as many doctors are. He told me he said, to stop traveling. I heard that, maybe being on planes it's bad for your health. And he was, no, it's because you've been coming here for years, you've never said anything funny. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I heard the thing about the anesthesiologist when he said that at the end. That always makes me think of other people. People have very important jobs, and I think you're right that it's really cool that people have more important, you got to listen to people that are smarter than us and have important, anesthesiologists, that's important to have done that. Because when I worked at Arby's, sometimes I would give someone a little bit extra.
Yeah.
And anesthesiology, you can't do that.
No, you can't. Anymore? That was pretty good.
Thank you. I think that's...
You probably end that high note,
okay,
so to speak. Tommy,
yeah.
You as an actor, you probably played a doctor, sometimes in a panel. What do you make of this? Should you judge somebody on their politics when selecting a doctor?
Well, it's interesting because, like Jamie said, you give the guy credit because it seems like he's learning. You know, and that was a revelation for him. Oh, wait a minute, this guy was going to give me the good advice. Actually, I don't like his advice. I don't like statins. There's too many people on him. So just, I don't think there's any reason. Maybe it was a different thing that caused this heart attack. Like the injection he got 3 months before he had the heart attack. The experimental maybe. Maybe.
You really hate that vaccine, don't you?
I don't know anybody who is I know a lot of conservatives. I know a lot of liberals. I don't know any conservatives who would not trust. Go through our lives if we're only using conservatives. If I want someone to direct my show, how am I going to find a Republican director? There's not that many of them. You know what I mean?
Admit it.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing about the doctors, it's like bipartisan. Failed. The doctors on the right and doctors on the left. Most of them failed during COVID. But the ones who did, it's interesting. So few of them were able to buck the system. But those who were usually they actually were forced into being conservatives. Like there's many doctors that you can see, and people, even left-wing activists. People are called right-wing activists because they were skeptical of the COVID policy.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's not really a bipartisan thing, but they almost.
Morgan, I think this comes from the original ideology of progressivism, which is politics is always personal. I need to have politics at a sporting event. I need to have politics in academia. I need to have politics at the thanks office. What say you, Lady in Red?
That was the first dance at my wedding to that song.
Lady in Red?
Yeah, because I wore a red wedding dress.
Was it the Rolling Stones?
I don't remember.
All right.
I know. I never know the names of these bands.
Yes.
So, it's interesting that it's even news, the Odin Kutcher revelation, that a conservative could be good at something.
Yeah.
So that's I don't even know why that's news, and he felt the need to talk about it in a podcast, especially because of COVID. Like you said, politics has entered things, every profession, places that it didn't used to be. You look, I had a baby, a women's center at the hospital to birth. Now I would go into the birthing center for people who are giving birth, so whatever ridiculous. I don't think I would have any more kids, but if I go into a hospital and they call me a birthing person instead of the mom or a woman, it's not going to end well for whoever is delivering for me.
Kat, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you
Well, I don't know. I'm a unique individual with my own very unique so it's I don't think as a part of a group that wouldn't work. I mean, when they're whenever they're okay, list whatever medications you're on, I'm like, here we go. Great that he actually said this because I think he's a guy who kind of does this a lot. I remember when the summer of 2020, when all these TV streaming services from all these different shows, when it happened to his, he was like, I disagree with that happening. I think that that's a really important thing to do. And I obviously, and if I only saw doctors that agreed with me, that just wouldn't be a thing. I don't think Gary Johnson could have done my surgery.
No, he's an ophthalmologist. That's an eye doctor, Jamie.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought it was someone who thinks really positively about stuff.
That's funny. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think we settled nothing.
Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not